welcome to Data Wizard. Today we are continuing with our series of retrieving and, well, not retrieving, a series on data projects from the scratch. But today we are planning to retrieve the video IDs and video titles for all the playlist IDs that we retrieved in the previous video. If you're a bit unsure about what's going on with this particular video, I'm trying to retrieve data from YouTube playlists of Freecodecamp to eventually analyze and see which language or which programming language is in trend and how many people are liking that particular tutorial videos compared to the others, and eventually retrieving all the data and analyzing it. Apart from that, yeah, let's continue. For those who are following the series, you might see the code is a bit different from my previous video. So this changes I had to make offline basically, because I felt like the next part of the code might give me some issues if I'm like recording and researching at the same time. So I decided to try it offline, and I already have written the code. I won't be writing it live right now. But yeah, I felt like the video will get out of hand if I do it live and on, like, basically from the scratch, like how I'm doing it, completely raw, no script, nothing. But I felt like I didn't want to spend 2-3 hours on a video to like show you guys everything, because I feel like 2-3 hours on just one part of the video is unnecessary. The researching time is real, it sometimes gets longer. But yeah, so as you can see, I've included some skip words. You might think, what's that? What's going on with that? So anyway, so while I was doing my next part of the video, that is getting video IDs for each of the playlists, you can see I've already written out that code, but let's not go there for now. But while doing this, I was facing an issue where the amount of YouTube data requests my code was basically making to the API, sorry, my code was making calls to the API was exceeding the amount of quota that YouTube has provided. So there's around 10,000 requests you can make per day to the YouTube data API, and it was exceeding it, and I was not going ahead with my video, and I think 3-4 days went like that only, just to like understand why it was exceeding the amount of videos, the amount of requests I was making. So I decided, maybe I will skip a few playlists, because I felt like, since these videos were all about getting and understanding which programming language is, well, more trend, and people are liking those particular videos compared to other videos, etc., etc. So I just decided I'll include the videos that have tutorials and programming languages in it, and rest of these videos I felt like they were not necessary for our part of the analysis, which I might have done eventually, but I feel like doing this now will, well, help us make less YouTube requests. So I thought, well, get it done now, because I felt like we were I was planning to clean this after retrieving all the data, and that's also part of like a data project where you need to clean the data to only have the data that is actually needed. But yeah, so I was exceeding the 10,000 requests quota set by YouTube data API, and yeah, I felt like skipping videos might help me. So that's why I decided to skip all these videos. And the part, one particular code that I had written just to include those skip words in the loop. So basically, this code just checks if there are any skip words in our current video that we are looking at, and if any of it matches with the video, then we would skip it. So the if not statement is basically checking to see if there are any skip words in the video, and if there are not any skip words, my bad. If there are no skip words in this particular, then we would append the playlist ID to the playlist dictionary and the title to that particular ID. So the ID will be the key of the dictionary, and basically the key values. The dictionary data structure has key and value. So the playlist ID will be the key, and the title of the playlist will be the value of it. Anyway, this is the code that I changed from the previous video, and yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you what was happening when I started writing this code. All these were not there. Firstly, these were I included later when I was basically trying to see what issues were happening. So as I said earlier that we were exceeding the 10,000 request quota set by YouTube API. So I decided to eventually, even so, I felt like if I did this, if I skipped a few playlists, then it should work. But it was not working again. And I'll tell you, all of these keywords, like basically, there's no way after skipping all these particular playlists that I have included in that previous section, the YouTube my code is making 10,000 requests. That doesn't make sense. So I thought there's some different issue apart from the amount of playlists and videos. So I decided to write debugging statements for each of the part of the code that I was running. And yeah, that's when I figured out that for a few playlists, for some reason, the code was just repeating last two videos from that playlist and the loop kept going and going and going. So I'll tell you what was happening. Suppose there are maybe 5 pages. This next page token, this is what I'm talking about. Suppose there's like 10 videos per page and there's 5 pages of playlist, basically playlist videos, and each page has 10 videos, and for the last page the only videos might be two or three. So when this was the case with a particular playlist, that's when for some reason my code kept calling the video IDs that were in the last 2 pages and not skipping that. Like technically the code should do the last two videos and move on to the next playlist, but for some reason it was just continuing to repeat the last two video IDs and titles. So I felt like maybe I need to so before that I thought that if I reduce the amount of videos that I was fetching for, maybe that will work, but it wasn't working. That's when finally I decided to print out and see each of the results that were happening while the code was running. So that's when I figured out that the videos are being repeated. So anyway, let's continue with the code. I'll explain you what's happening. For this particular thing, we are using playlist items. So this is a resource, another resource from the YouTube data API, wherein you use playlist ID to eventually get the video IDs and video titles for our next step in our project. So yeah, here we were making the first request as usual, and we were putting all the video IDs and video titles into the lists that we have written here. And this I've set total number of videos fetched equals to 0 because I was adding the amount of videos that were being fetched and incrementing the amount of so basically suppose this particular code, I'll explain what it does. So we have done total video ID is equal to 0, and here we are looking at total number of videos fetched plus equals len video IDs. What does it mean? So plus equals is basically we are incrementing the amount of this 0 by whatever the length of the video ID is currently. So suppose first loop runs for one video is inside. So this code will basically change this 0 to 1. Then it will change to 2 as it continues to keep going. That's what we are doing with this code. Anyway, so moving forward, I had written this code to see like if there's a certain amount of videos fetched, then just break out of the loop and the code will enter. This was a bit sloppy way of me doing it, but I was trying to make it work. So yeah, I decided to leave it inside the code. This code is not necessary right now, but I left it inside to show you the thought process I was in when I was writing that code. So this is the first step I decided to do, like just limit the amount of videos directly, like max videos 850. This is the minimum ID, minimum video, max videos I want basically. If you see the total number of fetched videos is more than 850, just break out of the loop and give me the result. This is a bit sloppy way of doing it, but this also happens. You are looking at different things. You are working with different like thought processes. You have different thought processes that happens while you are trying to debug your code, and I wanted to leave it in just to show that to you. Anyway, this I can remove this part right now, but I don't want to. I'll do it later. Anyway, moving forward, we are making the first request as usual, that like we did for the previous function. We are getting the response, we are getting the video ID, same thing for item. Basically, we are running loops to, well, store video IDs and titles. And yeah, so yeah, this is a if statement that I had written to just check, like basically it is also a part of debugging, wherein if there are not any videos found in that particular playlist, then we continue the loop. That's plain simple. There's nothing different in that. And yeah, in this while loop, while where's the while? No, sorry. So we continue to keep going, and we continue to keep increment the amount of videos we were fetching. And eventually, I was also like printing out that I was just trying to see the amount of videos that we were fetching and the total amount of videos we had fetched before. And yeah, this is the code where eventually, finally, we were able to solve the issue that I was having. So, firstly, I felt like when I found out that videos were repeating, because I had put out the debugging code wherein it was printing the amount of videos as it goes. So, sorry, not the amount of videos, but the title of the videos. And that's when I realized that last two videos from one particular playlist was repeating again and again. And it was like a endless loop going on. It only broke, and I'll be honest with you, I only figured it out because I had this particular code in place. Because since the amount of the basically all max videos was 850 and it was breaching that amount, that's when it was printing out all the titles, and I saw that last two videos was getting repeated. That's when I googled a bit here and there, eventually found a page on the YouTube data API where I think uh, was trying to understand what pagination is and etc. And eventually I found one particular issue that a guy was facing and he had posted it on Stack Overflow. It wasn't similar to mine, but I understood I could do that and like solve our issue here. That's when I figured out maybe I should just put a separate variable to like see what videos we have looped through. So this video IDs is something I've created a set. If you don't know set, I mean it's basic math. I'm pretty sure you have heard Venn diagram, right? It's the same thing. The set data structure, that's what it does. Anyway, we are moving forward to the while loop. So in this also I included total videos fetched. If it's max, then it will break out. So this is what I was trying to do to see. Eventually, basically I wanted the loop to like end. So I figured out to see what's the issue. So yeah, whenever it reached 850 or above, it would just break out and give me results. That's when I found out the repeated videos. It was very annoying. And yeah, moving forward, we are making now, since we are inside the while loop, next page token we are using and continue to keep going. This is the same similar code that we have written before also. That's why I'm not explaining it. I've explained it in the previous videos if you want to check it out. Yeah, so the main part of the video is this particular section. Firstly, so like I explained, there are, let's say, 10 pages you have. Each page has 10 videos. So the issue was happening that if there are maybe 1 2 videos in the final page of the playlist, then for some reason our code was calling to that video and continued to kept calling to that video. So this is how I thought we could avoid this. So basically check if same videos are being fetched. All these comments I have sat down and written specifically for you guys to understand in the video what's happening, because that's how you do it. So check if the same videos are being fetched. That's the issue we were facing with. So we check if statement of if, firstly, all the video IDs we put it in set. Okay. This is also a data structure. And then set dot is subset. This is a function that is inside this particular data structure that we can use. So basically is subset means that check if any of the scene video IDs is inside this video ID. That's it. Like if you detect any repeated videos, you break out of the loop. Simple. This break function is very helpful to, well, stop the while loop. Anyway, moving forward. So whenever it detected repeated videos, it will break out of the loop and move forward. So suppose there are two videos that were repeating, right? So the first video is repeated again, and when it detects this, it would break out of the loop, and then it would add that particular video in the scene video to like maintain unique video IDs. We don't want scene videos to have repeated videos because that will cause a lot of issue. So yeah, moving forward, check. So this tracks newly seen videos basically. Check if we fetch fewer than expected videos. So basically, this is also an important if statement. So length of videos per minimum page. I had said the minimum videos per page equal to 10. And yeah, so we were just checking this. So minimum page 10. If it's less than 10, then we would print fetched fewer than minimum videos and stopping pagination. That's when I decided, okay, that we need to stop the pagination if the minimum amount of videos were detected in that particular page. And if I'm not wrong, if you remember correctly, so the max results is 50. So if it's less than 10, we would just break out because it will still give us the videos. We will just break out of the infinite loop, and then we would update the total videos fetched. That's standard, just for us to debug stuff. And these all debugging statements were very important for us to eventually figure out how the code is working under the hood, and it's very important. Anyway, so check if we have fetched enough videos. This is also not readed right now because this is something was uh, I had returned to break out of the loop. That's it. Yeah, and in the end, our function will return all the video IDs and titles. I'll show you how it's working now by making a request. Let's see. See, as you can see, we are continuously getting feedback that what's happening in the code, where is the code currently. So debugging, that's why helps, and it's very important. And I see there's some repetition. Okay, there's definitely some repetition here. No, no, it's not repetition. Okay, it's day 16, then day 17. Okay, fine. Because the title was similar, I thought there's another repetition. My bad. Anyway, so let's go to where our code started. Yeah, yeah. So as you can see, first playlist, we are fetching videos from this particular playlist. It's printing out to give us like status of what's happening. And I'll also show you where it detected less than 10 videos and decided to stop the code. Where was it? I think there were two playlists that were causing a lot of issue. Yeah, see, as you can see, so full courses in one video, fetch 50 videos, total videos fetched so far 364, fetch fewer than 10 videos, stopping pagination. That's how we were moving on to the next playlist because I was breaking out of the loop. There's no point of going forward because it's repeating the last two videos. There's no point. So we move on to the next playlist. And yeah, this also another one. Detected repeated videos, and yeah, moving on. It was a fun day debugging. I think I spent 2 hours. Yeah, I spent 2 hours debugging this whole thing. The only issue that caused a bit of delay in this video is what the YouTube quota was exceeding, and I couldn't do anything till the next day. So yeah, 2 3 days went like that only. It was very annoying. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, we have fetched, let's see, 731 videos. We have names of each of the video. Now that we have each of the video IDs and video titles, we will use each of that video title to eventually make calls to the video resource that we looked at in previous first video, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so the video resources, we are using that video resource now to get the statistics of the videos that we will eventually analyze. And I plan to use Power BI AlterX to, well, show you guys how I'm doing my own analysis and, well, making a dashboard. I will do everything. Don't worry about it. This is, if you're thinking this is getting a bit too much technical, it's okay. But I feel like everyone needs to understand Python, or I'll be honest, any programming language. When it comes to data, Python is the best. Python or R, but I would suggest Python because it's easier. Just you'll learn it quickly. No need to worry about it. I'm myself explaining the concepts as I go, as much as I can. As I don't want to be coding to be a focus of these particular videos. You can get way more better videos, way more better explanations than I can give online from experienced people, way more experienced people than me. So I'm not doing that for you, but I will try to make it easy for you whenever I can. Whenever I can explain, I will explain it to you guys. Yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching Data Wizard. I'll see you in the next video. Also, I'm explaining small concepts and tools from AlterX in 90-second videos. Make sure to check it out. It should be a learning experience, and I eventually will show you guys how to work with AlterX and, well, do cool stuff. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye bye.